Hey, this is Andrew Brown from Exam Pro, and we are going to be looking at application gateways, which is for application load balancing, scale sets for being able to automatically add or remove instances when needed. And we're also going to be learning how to debug or troubleshoot network issues using Network Watcher. So what we're going to do is launch a new virtual machine, and we're going to install Apache 2 so that we actually have a web server to work with. So go to your virtual machines. We're going to make a new one here. I'm going to call this one Ryza, and we'll just name the virtual machine Ryza as well. Whatever region it wants to be in, just make note of it. And then we will want to use Ubuntu Server LTS. So just scroll on down below. Make sure you're choosing LTS, Generation 2. And then we want to make sure we have the cheapest cost here. So make sure you have standard B1LS. And then if we scroll on down, I'm going to set the password. I'm going to say Azure user, and I'm going to make the password testing 123456, capital on the T. Scrolling on down, we're going to open up port 80 here. It's going to be very frustrating if we don't do this here. Sometimes I have issues with NSGs, so it's just easier if you set it there, okay? And so I'm just going to make that standard so we save a bit of money. That looks all good to me. We'll hit review and create. What we'll do here now is just hit create, and so we'll just wait for that server to be ready, and once it's ready, we'll go in, SSH in, install Apache 2, and make sure that test page is in good shape. All right, so our virtual machine is ready, so let's go ahead and go to those resources. We're going to grab that public IP address, and what we're going to do is launch our Cloud Shell at the top there, and we're going to SSH into this machine. So I'm going to type in SSH, and it was Azure user @ sign, and then we'll paste in that public IP address, hit enter. We'll have to write yes, and then testing 123456, capital on the T. And then once we're in there, we can do a sudo apt install Apache 2, and that will install Apache 2. This doesn't take too long, but once it's installed, we will have the default Apache page, and if we can view that, then we'll be in good shape. Great, so that's now installed. One way we can verify it's installed is we can do curl and type in localhost. This will return, it's like hitting the home page. The idea is if it returns HTML, which is the default page, we know that it will work at least with inside the virtual machine. If we copy the public IP address and paste that into our browser, we should see this page, which we do. And also, if you didn't see that there, or if you wanted some debugging, what you can do on the left-hand side, if you scroll all the way down, there's a thing called, where are you? Connection troubleshoot. And so here, if you wanted to test your IP address, you say my IP address. It's the same as if we did it over here. And if I went and switched this over to HTTP and we hit test connection, we can see whether the connection works. So just give it a moment there to verify. Also, while we're waiting there, if we wanted to see if that server was running, we could use PS aux, pipe, and then write probably HTTPD. Or not HTTP, we could do, grep HTTPD. Or maybe it's Apache, I'm not sure which one it is. There it is, so that's how we know that it is running on the server. This connection shouldn't take this long, it's just, I don't know why it's so slow here. There we go, so, here it's saying the network watcher is deployed, so that's something we're also waiting as well. Whenever you create a virtual machine, it's automatically going to provision network watcher for you for use. So that doesn't generally take too long for you. I'm not sure if it just triggered as soon as I pressed that button there. Maybe it was just as soon as I did that. But yeah, now see the connection is there. So I guess network watcher wasn't ready. And that's another thing that we're going to learn how to use is network watcher. So what I want you to do is go to the top here or right click, and we'll make our way over to Network Watcher. And this tool has a lot of stuff in it. It's here to help us set up a bunch of stuff. And you can see here we have a bunch of Network Watchers here for each, it looks like for each region. So I think that was the first time I actually ever used it in that region, and that's why it was provisioning. And so if we go down below, we have a bunch of different tools. We have IP Flow Verify, NSG Diagnostic, We have other things like NSG flow logs, traffic analytics. There's a lot of fun, cool stuff in here. And you can get topology. So if we drop down here, and I think this is no different than the resource groups that we see. Yeah, it's the same stuff as always. So let's give it a go and try out some of these tools.